President Trump's return to the Oval Office on January 20th, 2025 was a historic moment. It marked the beginning of an unprecedented second, non-consecutive term, a feat not seen since Grover Cleveland in the late 19th century. The inauguration unfolded against a backdrop of heightened security and palpable tension, reflecting the deep divisions within the country. The nation remained deeply polarized, still grappling with the echoes of the 2024 election, which had been one of the most contentious in recent history. Many Americans greeted Trump's return with a mix of anticipation and apprehension, unsure of what his leadership would bring this time around. Others felt a profound sense of unease, worried about the potential for further division and conflict. The country seemed poised on a knife's edge, uncertain of the path that lay ahead, with many fearing the unknown. Hey, what's up, guys? Sorry to interrupt this amazing program, but we just want to say, wow, what a journey. We're beyond grateful for every single one of you who has subscribed, watched, liked, and supported our channel. Hitting our first 1,000 subscribers last week is a huge milestone, and we couldn't have done it without you. This is just the beginning, and we're excited to keep bringing you even better content. Thank you for being part of this amazing community. Let's keep growing together. If you are new to our channel, welcome. You can probably see our subscriber number right below the video. And if you're able to, it would mean the world if you could subscribe to our new and growing channel. When you subscribe and like our videos, it helps get our contents exposed to more audiences like yourself. Our mission is simple: to bring you cool contents that inspires, informs, and adds real value to your life. In return, my team and I promise to keep pushing harder than ever to make this show better for you every single week. Thank you for being part of this journey. We couldn't do it without you. Now let's get back to our video. Trump, for his part, appeared energized and determined, ready to tackle the challenges head-on. His inaugural address struck familiar chords, emphasizing themes of American strength, economic nationalism, and a return to law and order, which had been central to his previous campaign. He reiterated his commitment to putting America first and promised to make America great again. Again, a slogan that had become synonymous with his political identity. While he called for unity and healing, his words did little to soothe the deep divisions that continued to plague the nation as skepticism and distrust lingered. The first month of Trump's second term was marked by a flurry of activity as he moved quickly to implement his agenda. He wasted no time in signing a series of executive orders, many aimed at undoing policies enacted by his predecessor, signaling a sharp shift in direction. His cabinet appointments, a mix of familiar faces and new allies, signaled a clear direction for his administration, one that promised to be both assertive and controversial. The media, both domestic and international, provided relentless coverage, analyzing every move and statement with intense scrutiny, reflecting the high stakes of his presidency. It was a month of high drama, intense debate, and a palpable sense that the stakes had never been higher as the nation watched closely. As the first month of Trump's second term drew to a close, the nation found itself at a crossroads, facing critical decisions that would shape its future. The path ahead remained uncertain, fraught with challenges both domestic and foreign, as the country braced for what was to come. Only time would tell what this new chapter in American history would hold as the nation navigated through uncharted waters. One thing, however, was abundantly clear. The next 4 years promised to be anything but ordinary, with the potential for significant change and upheaval. One of the most immediate hallmarks of Trump's first month back in office was his use of executive orders. These directives, bypassing Congress, allowed him to swiftly enact policy changes across various sectors. Many of these orders targeted key areas of his predecessor's agenda, signaling a sharp reversal in direction. Environmental regulations were rolled back, energy exploration was prioritized, and immigration policies saw stricter enforcement measures. Trump's supporters applauded these actions as decisive leadership, fulfilling campaign promises and restoring what they saw as common-sense governance. Critics, however, voiced concerns about potential environmental damage, economic repercussions, and the erosion of human rights. They argued that these sweeping changes, implemented without legislative debate, undermined democratic processes and lacked necessary oversight. The swiftness and scope of these executive orders sparked immediate controversy and legal challenges. Several states filed lawsuits alleging that the orders exceeded presidential authority and violated existing laws, Advocacy groups mobilized, organizing protests and preparing for lengthy court battles. The battle lines, it seemed, were being drawn once again, with familiar issues reigniting partisan passions. This early reliance on executive orders set the stage for a potentially contentious relationship with Congress. While Republicans maintained control of the Senate, albeit by a slimmer margin, the House of Representatives remained under Democratic control. This divided Congress presented both challenges and opportunities for the Trump administration, setting the stage for a complex and unpredictable political landscape. The first month of Trump's second term saw a return to the partisan gridlock that had come to characterize his previous presidency. With a divided Congress, legislative progress on major initiatives proved elusive. Efforts to pass a comprehensive infrastructure bill, a key campaign promise, stalled amid disagreements over funding and scope. Similarly, attempts to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act, a long-standing Republican goal, once again faced significant hurdles. Despite these challenges, Trump did achieve some legislative victories, albeit on a smaller scale. He successfully secured funding for his proposed border wall, albeit through a controversial move that redirected funds from other government departments. This move drew sharp criticism from Democrats, who accused the president of overstepping his authority and prioritizing partisan goals over national security. The confirmation process for Trump's cabinet nominees also proved to be a contentious affair. While most nominees eventually secured confirmation, several faced lengthy and often acrimonious hearings. Democrats grilled nominees on their past statements, potential conflicts of interest, and policy positions. These hearings offered a glimpse into the ideological battles that would likely define the coming years. The first month of Trump's second term demonstrated that navigating the political landscape in Washington would require a delicate touch. Building consensus in a deeply divided Congress would be an ongoing challenge. The ability to find common ground with Democrats, particularly on issues with bipartisan support, would be crucial to achieving any meaningful legislative success. Trump's return to the White House was met with a mixture of apprehension and cautious optimism on the international stage. His unpredictable policies and rhetoric had left a lasting impression on the global community. Allies, still reeling from the unpredictable nature of his first term, expressed uncertainty about the future direction of American foreign policy. The lack of clear communication and sudden policy shifts had many on edge. European leaders, in particular, voiced concerns about potential trade disputes, the future of NATO, and the U.S.'s commitment to global climate agreements. The transatlantic relationship seemed more fragile than ever. Russia, under the continued leadership of Vladimir Putin, remained a focal point of international attention. The geopolitical chess game between the U.S. and Russia was as intricate as ever. Trump's previous praise for Putin and his calls for closer ties with Moscow had sparked controversy and raised concerns about potential Russian interference in American elections. The shadow of past allegations loomed large. The Kremlin, for its part, maintained a watchful silence, carefully observing the early days of Trump's second term for any indication of his administration's approach to U.S.-Russia relations. The stakes were undeniably high. China, meanwhile, continued to assert itself as a global economic and military power. Its ambitions were clear, and its strategies meticulously planned. Trade tensions between the U.S. and China, a defining feature of Trump's first term, showed no signs of abating. The economic rivalry was intense and multifaceted. The ongoing trade war, marked by tariffs and retaliatory measures, had implications for the global economy and fueled uncertainty in financial markets. Businesses and investors were on high alert. Trump's America First rhetoric, a cornerstone of his foreign policy, continued to resonate uneasily with traditional allies. The emphasis on national interests often clashed with the principles of international cooperation. Many world leaders expressed a desire for greater cooperation and multilateralism, particularly in addressing global challenges such as climate change, pandemics, and nuclear proliferation. The call for unity was louder than ever. The first month of Trump's second term highlighted the delicate balance he would need to strike between pursuing American interests and maintaining global stability. The world watched closely, aware that every move could have far-reaching consequences. The economy emerged as a key battleground in the early days of Trump's second term, with both supporters and critics closely watching the unfolding events. Supporters pointed to a robust stock market and low unemployment rates as evidence that his policies were working, claiming that the economic indicators were a direct result of his administration's efforts. Critics, however, argued that these gains were largely a continuation of trends inherited from the previous administration, and not necessarily a result of new policies. They warned that rising income inequality and the potential for a trade war with China posed significant risks to long-term economic stability, potentially undermining any short-term gains. The stock market, often seen as a barometer of investor confidence, initially reacted favorably to Trump's election victory, with many investors feeling optimistic. The Dow Jones Industrial Average reached record highs in the weeks following the election, as investors anticipated tax cuts and deregulation that would benefit businesses. However, this initial euphoria proved short-lived as market realities began to set in. Uncertainty surrounding Trump's trade policies and concerns about potential inflation led to increased market volatility, causing unease among investors. The manufacturing sector, a key focus of Trump's economic agenda, experienced mixed results, reflecting the complexities of the global economy. While some manufacturers benefited from increased government contracts and reduced regulations, enjoying a more favorable business environment, others struggled with rising input costs due to tariffs on imported goods, which squeezed their profit margins. The ongoing trade dispute with China cast a long shadow over the manufacturing sector, creating uncertainty and disrupting supply chains. Many businesses expressed concerns about the long-term impact on their operations, fearing that prolonged trade tensions could lead to lasting damage. Trump's early economic policies, characterized by tax cuts, deregulation, and protectionist trade measures, sparked heated debate among economists and policymakers, with strong opinions on both sides. Supporters argued that these measures would unleash economic growth and create jobs, leading to a more prosperous future for all. Critics, however, warned that they would lead to higher budget deficits, increased inequality, and potential damage to the global trading system, raising questions about the sustainability of such policies. If you watched to the end of this video, you likely enjoyed watching, so why not subscribe for more future content? Go ahead, hit subscribe and the notification bell, so you never miss out on future contents. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.